So today I'm going to show you guys a cool wireless video transmitter by INKEE called the Benbox. It allows you to control it with up to 4 devices simultaneously. And hopefully today I'm going to help you guys to determine whether or not it's worth it to you. Let's check it out. So let's start with what's in the box. It comes with a micro USB cable, a mini USB cable, a USB Type-C cable, a Panasonic control cable, a Sony control cable, the user guide, and of course the Benbox. Benbox can work with just about any camera to be able to wirelessly transmit a video signal, but certain cameras can actually go a step further and even be controlled by the Benbox. It will control things like ISO, aperture, shutter speed. It can start and stop recording. It can't do focusing, but it can still control all those other things, which is very cool. Now, it doesn't work with every camera, but I will leave a link down in the description below that will lead you to INKEE's website that shows you which models are currently supported. And from what I see, they are actually adding support as time goes on. So if your camera's not supported now, it might be later. Connecting the Benbox is pretty simple. Once you have it mounted on your camera, you pretty much just connect one end of the HDMI cable to the Benbox and the other end to your camera. That's enough to get you wireless video signal. If you want to be able to control your camera, then you find the corresponding cable to your camera, connect one end to the Benbox and the other end to your camera, and from there you open up the app. Let's go over some of the features of the Benbox. First of all, it's very small. It comes in at about 2 inches by 3 inches and is only about 1.5 inches thick. Now that's from the bottom of the cold shoe mount to the top of the antenna, so this thing's not going to stick up very far from your camera or camera cage. It's made of metal and weighs about 4.4 ounces. It's got metal heat sinks on it to help dissipate the heat. It's even got a very nice metal cold shoe mount, which I really like. I'm not going to have to worry about breaking this thing off my camera very easily. It'll handle up to 1080p 60 frames per second through a full-size HDMI. Now, some of you guys may be wondering, is that going to work with my 4K camera? Most 4K cameras will downsample to 1080, so that way you're able to work with devices like this. It's got a built-in 2500 milliamp hour battery that will give you about 3.5 hours of runtime. And if that's not enough, it can be powered off a power bank through USB Type-C. It's got dual band Wi-Fi, 5G and 2.4G to give you optimal signal. It also works off of Bluetooth. It, in theory, has a 300-foot line of sight signal range. Now, I didn't really go out and test if I can go 300 feet and not have any kind of interference or anything like that, but I can tell you guys that I went from one end of my house to the other end of my house with the doors closed, through walls, everything like that, and it worked with no problem. So I'm sure you're going to get at least close to the 300 feet off of this thing. It'll work with up to 4 devices simultaneously. It's got iOS apps, Android apps, Mac apps, Windows apps, all so you can use it off your laptop, smartphone, tablet, all those devices. It's got 150 millisecond delay time, which is not very much at all. You don't really see too much lag. But let's go ahead and get into the app, and I will show you how the app itself works. So the first thing you're going to do is go to your Wi-Fi settings and connect to the Benbox. Once connected, then go ahead and open up the INKEE app, and down in the bottom left-hand corner you'll see a play button. Click that and that will begin connecting to the camera. Once connected, you'll see your settings like shutter speed, your aperture, and your ISO up in the top. And up in the top right-hand corner, you'll see all the different connection status for the device, including battery life of both the device and the camera. Bottom right-hand corner, you have your histogram, you have your zebras, you can go to a black and white image, and then you have your various different grids. And then you also have a whole selection of LUTs for like Blackmagic cameras, Sony cameras, Panasonic cameras, and various different ones for different logs. You have your record button, and then you also have a button for taking pictures. If you go into the settings, you can see what video resolution you're viewing at. You can check the about, and you can also change the Wi-Fi name and password of the device. A couple things that I didn't really like on the Benbox, and really these are kind of minor things because they mainly have to deal with the app, and I did submit a request to the support team with INKEE, and hopefully these are things that will be addressed. But the first is the zebra patterns. I'm not exactly sure, what the value is on them. I know you can adjust it by swiping across the screen, but it just kind of gives a point value off to the side. I'm used to more of a percentage value like what my cameras put out, and so that way I know where my zebras are set. So hopefully they'll convert that over to just a traditional percentage value. The other thing is the histogram. You can't really change the size of that. It doesn't have any kind of waveforms or vector scopes or anything like that. But one of the big ones is that it doesn't have false colors. False colors are very important to me. The false colors is what I use as my main exposure tool, so I know how my exposure is being set. And so if they could add that, that would be a game changer for me. The other thing is with custom LUTs. So I have a LUT for my camera that I created to add false colors to my Panasonic S1. So even if I could load a custom LUT, then I could add false colors to this Benbox. But I didn't see a way to add any kind of custom LUTs. It does have built-in LUTs that are for vlog or converting over log footage from multiple cameras, but I also didn't see a way to turn the LUT off. Now I know you can swipe across the screen to see with and without the LUT, but once you turn the LUT on, I don't see a way of turning the LUT off. So again, those are kind of minor things, and it does seem like they are updating the app on a regular basis, so hopefully those things will change over time. But this Benbox does very well what it's supposed to do, which is wirelessly transmit a video signal. So the way that I would likely use the Benbox, because if you guys follow my channel, then you know that I'm a Panasonic Lumix user, and Panasonic already has one of the best apps out there when it comes to controlling functionality and setting things like focus and things like that. But what I would likely use the Benbox for is for something like a director's monitor, or being able to hand a client a large iPad or something so they can see what's going on, and I don't have to have anybody looking over my shoulder and kind of preventing me from doing what I need to do. So I think it would be really great at that, and the fact that you can transmit signal to 4 devices at the same time is a huge plus. But hopefully I've given you guys enough information to determine whether or not this is worth it to you. I think at $109 it's pretty hard to beat, and it does what it needs to do very well, which is transmit wireless video. And so if I didn't answer your questions, please let me know down in the comment section. I love to help you guys. I love to engage with you guys. If you did find this video helpful, please hit that thumbs up, as it definitely helps this video and this channel out. If you are not subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button and hitting that bell for future notifications. But other than that, that's pretty much it for today's video. So I will see you guys on the next one.